Hey guys, Frank here, your virtual general aviation aviator, and today I am in the Thronda Beaver, the the Thronda Beaver, yay! So I'm parked at Bella Coola in Canada, and my plan is to fly down to Machmell Fisheries and land. Uh, Mission is to take a couple of fishermen down there who actually want to fish that spot. So yeah. So let's get in the aircraft. But before we do that, let's um, let's make sure that we got everything that we want. This is the livery that I am going to use. And I'm flying November 843 Tango Tango. All right, so let's do our weight and balance. Let's get loaded here. So yeah, let's just make it three of these guys, and and put some weight on them. So that's four of us in all. And, all right. So okay, so and naturally they would have some gear. So we'll give them 140 pounds of gear in the rear, in the aft section. So as you can see, the Beaver has the capability of actually carrying a pretty good load. Now, you got to have enough fuel to get there and back. So I'm going to add a few gallons. Actually, I don't want to add any more fuel because my tanks are topped off. Cool. All right. So, uh, let's get over here. So, as you can see, I am in my weight and balance envelope, and I do have my mud flaps on. Yep. And I am flying the bubble window. I prefer the bubble windows as opposed to the regular windows. Okay. Just give my passengers a little bit more room. All right. So let's check out sound. Let's turn master up. And I won't be using the radios today. This is strictly VFR. Um, and not really going to fly, not really going to use any ATC. All right. And we will use the livery we got. Okay. So I think we're good to go. Let's just turn this guy on and hide that. All right. So let's hop in. And this is the panel. Let's make sure that all of our that everything is working. Yep. So I'm good to go. All right. Turn everything off on my alpha yoke. And what is this guy? Just turn on turn bank. Not sure why that's on, but just turn it off. So great scenery. I mean, can you imagine actually living here? And I actually love mountains. So anyway, all right. So let's do this thing. All right. So the first thing we want to do is turn on our fuel, and we'll start off on our front tank. We don't have any gas in our center tank, I don't think. Let's go back and check that. Center mid. Let's put a few gallons in there, so just so that when we switch tanks, we don't, the engine doesn't shut down. But if it does, that's no issue because this with hot mags and a turning prop, it will fire right back up as soon as it get fuel. All right, hot that on the front tank. Let's go ahead and wobble up. I mean, prime it. Let's do this about 6 times. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's get rid of that and make sure that that's primed and locked. All right, so it does says correct. We could have got an extra prime in, but I think we'll be okay. All right, let's go ahead and wobble up this gauge here till it gets some pressure in the fuel line. Don't want to put too much pressure in the fuel line because we can blow some seals with too much pressure. And let's turn our mixture up. Let's just barely crack the throttle and we'll start feather. All right. All right. Mags on. Mags are hot. Okay. And clear to the right. Clear to the left. Clear prop. And it's not going to do a thing unless we unless we turn some power on, right? All right. Okay. So let's turn our master battery on and try this again. All right. Clear prop. We got a good start. And we want our RPMs to be roughly at about 600. One thing about this big radio engine is what we don't want to do is have it race, how in the wintertime, when we start our cars, it has this little choke that kind of raises the engine, and then to speed things along, many of us are guilty of, let me bring myself back, many of us are guilty of sitting there and racing the engine, on. Well, with these big radio engines, that's something you don't want to do. Okay, let's get a master alternator turned on, which is this guy here. And let's get our avionics turned on, which is this guy here. All right. Our GPS should come alive. As you can see, I don't have a subscription, so everything is out of date. All right, fuel flow. Let's see. Just turn it up just a little bit. Watch that change. Okay, so we do. It is that sensor check pass. All right. And we can get rid of this guy. How you guys doing back there? Actually, I can't turn on any passengers, but for all intents and purposes, they're back there. They One thing about flight sim, and for a guy my age, it does require some imagination. So it does keeps you young, right? Because and if I wasn't flight simming, I would have no reason to use my imagination to the extent that I use it. All right, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. All right, so I'm gonna try something. I really like having these gauges here at the top, but I think I did some custom work. And let's see if yeah, so that didn't change it. That didn't change a thing. But I am gonna take this guy to the shop at some point and have these RPM and the manifold gauge put up to the top. All right. So I didn't turn my beacon light on. Let's go ahead and turn our taxi light on. Don't think I have a taxi light. So I got strobe. Let's see, I got that. I got beacon, turn bank, now light, landing light, P-top heat. I don't think I'm going to need P-top heat today. But in the absence of navs, we'll go ahead and turn our strobes on in the absence of taxi. Well, actually it's daytime and I don't need taxi lights, but I would taxi with landing lights. Well, I guess I should turn on my landing lights. Let folks know that I am about the taxi, right? Okay. So let's get started here. All right. So I need to go to this airport and find my field elevation. Field elevation for Bella Coola is 117 feet. So I can set my barometer based on the field elevation. And then that way I know I'm somewhere in the neighborhood. Okay. And let's go. Get some flaps in. Turn the brakes off. Throttle. This is a tail dragger. And one thing about this particular tail dragger is she likes to do. Okay, so what I'm looking at is this windsock because I can't get an ATIS, and look like the wind is blowing from this direction. So I think that means that I am to take off on, I think it's runway 5 or 6. I'm not sure, but I want to definitely take off into the wind. Okay. That throttle. Let's do this. As far as I know, I don't think I've got a tail wheel lock on this guy. Alright, give me some carb eating. That carb eat off. So you got to keep in mind that carb icing it can be an issue. All right. I said 5, like we had taken off 2, 3, so actually it was the opposite. Bella Coola traffic. Beaver 843 Tango Tango is taking off runway 23 Bella Coola. I am departing. Car up here again. He can come off and landing lights stays on, strobe lights can go on, and let's get our map up. Bella Coola traffic. Beaver 843 Tango Tango is taking off runway 23, departing straight out. Bella Coola. All right, flaps are in, and you're clear for departure. Down 6 knots. Take. One thing about the Beaver is it doesn't need a lot of runway to get airborne. And let's this guy back. 25, anywhere between 15 to 25 is going to be our cruising altitude. We don't need to go very high, and of course, our passengers want to be able to do some sightseeing. So the plan is to follow the river and as you can see there's a little haze in the atmosphere today. That's typical summer type weather. It's up to double off of 15 initially, and the lights come off. And supposed to go off. Down these roads. And on the right, there's a bright daylight today. Alright, so let's pull out our RPMs back to 20 and the manifold pressure back to 30. Cruise power set. Check them out, let roughly at 110 knots or so. Roughly at 10, gusting to about 15. And so far I'm just hand flying it. Okay, so on our map here, the plan's to fly here and make this left turn, but the two rivers converge. I got a rumble back plant. Keep mopping into my chair. I'm probably making all kinds of noise. It's on the other side of the room at the moment. But if it gets close to me, we'll turn it off. Might be able to turn it off. Well, I know I didn't reconnect it last time. Disconnect. Sometimes it's more hassle to reconnect those things than it's worth. So, and since I got to move cables out the way, then I rarely find myself saying, "Turn it on." So I see my left turn coming up. Feels windy. I felt the back thing up on the chair, but maybe maybe stay out of my way now. So low, if I lose an engine, I'm not high enough to give myself a lot of options but the ditch. have on float, so let's decide that we don't want to use it if at all possible. Okay, so we got about 40 miles or so on this river here. So I think I'm going to climb up to 25, and I'm not really saying, I think there's some airspace somewhere around here. No airspace points. Yeah, so let's go ahead and climb up. Okay, continuing my climb, and I think I can put headphones on. That's almost indoors. And that simulates putting the headphones on, which I should have did way earlier. I think I could have did the same thing. Maybe. Let's try to see if there was another place I could do the same thing. But I didn't see it. Okay, flaps are up and lights are off. Manifold. Back up to 30. So I'm picking up a lot of thermals. So I'm just about at altitude where I want to level off. See me over there on the GPS, but I'm really not watching the GPS that closely. I'm just watching the river. Like got some clouds up. Maybe the storm. So I am using real world weather. Actually, I'm using FS Global real world as opposed to the X-Plane default real weather. Technically, I get roughly the same weather. It's just that the real world weather sends a little bit more data to help SkyMax deal with clouds and control marginally better clouds. But it's so turbulent at this altitude that it's really hard to trim the aircraft. I don't know if I sound any different. Just got another pair of headsets. This is the Fanatic. I started out with the G430s by, I think this is by Logitech. Maybe not. Maybe G is a brand. But my sound seem to always stay a little bit low. So I wanted to get something to see if I could get any better sound, which is why I've got the another pair. Some of you guys may have noticed that on some of my videos, really have to crank up the volume to get me at a good level. And then after my video plays and somebody else come on, you may have to turn down the volume so that everything stayed properly equalized. So I'm hoping that this set will solve it. Now right now I got it plugged into the USB adapter, and I think I can plug these directly into the sound card. Which I can plug the other ones directly into the sound card too. But number one, my cable wouldn't have been long enough, and number two, if I'm not mistaken, I did have on these a separate line for the microphone, or an adapter cable for the microphone. Approaching those clouds. Now, technically, this might be a situation where in real life I would have to turn around or file an IFR flight plan to continue. In which case, in this case, I'm not going to file an IFR flight plan, nor am I going to turn around. Okay, so looking at the GPS, looks like I am going to bear to the left. That's what I'm going to do. See, I'm trying up into there, which is not where I go. Said I was going to bear to the right. So I'm going to actually take a right turn. And coming out on the other side of the cloud. Hold on. I'm like I had two tributaries to the river. And see how easy it was going to go up in tributary accidentally. Let's get back up to 25. Actually, let's go back down to 15. That might help me stay below the deck. Rather than getting up there and sleep. Okay. Just want to check. Okay. Airspeed, still at 110. Artificial horizon is cross-check. Altitude looks like it's working as expected. Now, it's been a while since I got a thermometer check, so I may need to check my barometer right now, based on where I'm at. I think it's more important to fly planes. Once I come out the other side, so then I can go at doing some of the ancillary stuff. If you want to call a barometer check ancillary, but it's better to be at the wrong altitude and not fly into terrain. Sorry guys, I know how annoying it can be to have the phone ring. So let me fix that now. Okay. So let me have the phone ring on the tone. Turn the light back on. Alright, let's see the river on the GPS anyway. Back up. Let's go back up to 15. Well, it might not be 15 for real. To get a barometer check. So, 012, and can see winds up to 60 with winds 12 to 19 knots. One, two. Back down to 15. All of a sudden, I asked myself, am I getting Quatam River Machmell Fisheries? So, look at this Quatam River. I know when I get there. In either case, these guys are going to that location, to the location that I have in mind. And I'm not worried, they have a great time. I was looking for a fuel read on the tank. Jump. And I got a couple minutes on that fuel tank. So this is okay to switch. Just back up now. So I'm controlling up the so this will be back now. So yes. Quatam River. I know earlier in the video I said it on Machmell Fisheries, but I think I was mistaken. So it's the pass over. Sure it's not nobody down there in the sun. It's okay. There's probably the ice cream. It's ice cream. Set up and up down. Don't get sick back there. All right. Let's plan to land. All right, and the lights on, stove lights on. And some flaps for slow flight. Let's get more. Calls. Apps. Power. Going around. Not like this. Flaps here on the back, some carburetor ice, carburetor's on, and technically I should take my carb heat off just before I land in case I need to go around again and clear obstacles. It's pretty high. Pretty high. Get the line up here. And put the carb heat off and go around. So I don't like this. could have made that work. Cross to down. I'm down about now. So down. Hill this time. Bounce. Look, this hill. Flouts 4. Got that power cut. Just gliding because I need to try to get rid of some of this excess speed. Whoa. And as you can see that in real life that would not have worked. Look at the pretty flowers. Squirrel. Don't look at the landing, look at the flower. Wish I could lock that tail wheel, or I really need to drag it in much slower. I think I just came in too fast, and I didn't manage the line up. After going around twice, I still botched that landing. I had a bunch of bent metal and maybe even some blood. So I'm using differential braking. Let's get the cover heat turned up. That should have came off before I landed, just in case I did a go around. I would have the power. Anyway, we did manage to get to our location, and the plane is on the ground thanks to it being a simulator. It's in one piece. because the trees are not solid objects. So, and I can't tell if this is Machmell or Quatam River. I got both sceneries, and I don't fly in and out very often. I think this is Machmell Fisheries. After all, because I think Quatam River has the guy working with the machine. I think I saw some buildings down here, and so we'll go down here and look and see. Oh man, in the scenery, gorgeous. And other than the airport scenery, I think the mountains that I'm looking at is default. So, for the office. Guys, I still can't tell. Because I think. Yeah, this is Machmell Fisheries because I don't see any tree logging operations going on. And this ought to be a pretty dead giveaway here. It says Machmell. Yep. So yep. I am at Machmell Fisheries. Doubt it myself. Anyway, guys, let's get this guy turned off. And thank you for the pleasure of your company. This was an interesting flight, fun. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And until next time, like, subscribe.
Y'all come back now. Cheers.